In the wavelengths group, we focused on the origin of the
Chinese zodiacs, and that is what we focused our creation myth on.
we all had different parts and different animals.
There was also a king, and we each made our own characters.
Personally, I had the horse.
And I had the rat.
We all researched about the creation myth itself and made the background.
All the animals had their own scene and each played a part.
Every animal had their own special year, and they rotated.
Some animals had a roadblock. One, for an example, is the rabbit. It was too big, so we had to remake it.
Directly across the river, but instead stopped to help some other animals she encountered.
Word of the Fractors, and we did a Japanese mythology thing with shadow puppets.
So like some issues that we like ran into was like cutting the paper. Cutting the paper, because I cut myself and like some of the designs were like really small and you would cut yourself. Like I said, yeah.
From my experience in the Japanese flock leader project, it wasn't very enjoyable because it was time consuming and yeah. Long ago, all the elements were mixed into one germ of life. The germ sunk into the planet and made a sea of mud. The sea covered the entire Earth and made Earth and made Japan, I guess. Then a cloud transformed into a dog, and then it made two gods, and it was Izanagi and Izanami. And one day they were walking, and they looked down at the ocean and wondered what was under it. So Izanagi stabbed his staff into the ground and into the water, and when he pulled it back up, it began to harden, and then it became the islands of Japan. And then they went to the islands to go explore. And then they had some kids, I guess, and the first child, Izanami, was a girl of radiant beauty. So she was so pretty, the gods made her the sun. But then the other one was so ugly, they made him the moon. So now their first child, Amaterasu, was born and had a son, and he became the emperor of Japan. And all the emperors since have then claimed to be descended from him.
What was the story about?
So, Vivian, as a group, what were some roadblocks you guys encountered?
We encountered a lot of roadblocks in making this project. Some of them include having trouble deciding who should do which parts, also what story we should do, and obviously how we were going to make the puppets.
What about your overall experience? Was it negative or was it positive?
I would say my overall experience was pretty positive, and I'm not going to speak for my group, but I think everyone really enjoyed it. It was lots of fun.
How was it deciding roles for each person? Was that difficult?
Yeah, as I said before, it was difficult. A lot of people wanted to do specific puppets. So for instance, like Peter did the Turtle Island, and then another kid did it, but our communication skills were lacking. So it was difficult to decide, but ultimately it worked out.
So what strategies did you use to decide roles?
We did a lot of voting, so majority rules, kind of.
Gotcha. What about the story? What was the story of your group?
Our story was the Iroquois creation myth, which is basically how the earth came to be. And it's about this woman who lives in the sky, and then she falls down through a hole because her husband gets mad at her because she's pregnant, and no one gets pregnant on this cloud in the sky. And then birds catch her, she flies down and lands on the back of a turtle, they spread mud on it, and then the earth basically grows. And then she has her children, and her children help create like the stars and everything like that. One of them's good, one of them's bad, and yeah, that's basically just how things came to be.
Okay, thank you, Vivian.
Hi, I'm Mariana.
Hi, I'm Arden.
And hi, I'm Mahajabin. We are the Amplitudes, and we chose to do Greek mythology. And in this group, we had a lot of fun. We learned new things, and overall, it was a great experience.
Some roadblocks that we encountered was the hand movements during the shadow show. So, for example, to get the creations on to the right scenes, a lot of people had to do a lot of hand movements so the creations could go on at the same time as the scene was. And that was a roadblock because some people were rushing to get their creations onto the scene. So that was something that we kind of struggled on. And in my experience, in my opinion, the experience of it was really nice because a lot of people upgraded their social skills, and I like how there were different groups so we could interact with other people as well. So that was something I really liked.
In my opinion, we had a lot of fun. Even though we were struggling at times, other people from other groups helped us, our teammates helped us, and we were able to come up with this great product.
And so one important part of our shadow show was the roles. Everybody in our group that did Greek mythology did at least 2 sceneries. We had to cut, we had to draw, and we had to do a lot of things in order for the puppets to be actually made. And so every single creations were actually shown in the shadow show, and that's why it was so important, because if we didn't have anybody there to have any roles, the puppets wouldn't be there also. So another part that was also really important was the actual story. So the story was the Greek creation myth. And so the Greek creation myth that states that the world was created by gods, and the son of a god named Zeus fought his dad because his dad ate all of his children except for him. So he fought him, and so Zeus fought his dad, and they won. And so Zeus continued to create the whole entire world. And so that's how the world came to be according to the Greek creation myth.